Hello. Okay, hopefully I'm audible. And we are back. Okay. Am I sharing the right screen? Yes, I am. Okay. I'm back. I know it's been a while. I think it's been a couple of weeks, probably 3 weeks since I last streamed this. But yeah, a bit busy. Okay, so let's just get back into this. It's gonna be a bit of a YOLO stream. I really haven't prepared much for this, like my last stream. But hey, just getting in the hang of streaming this. Getting the hang of streaming. Right. It's gonna be a bit shabby for another few streams before I start actually doing streams with proper objectives. But yeah, hey, till then, we properly learn how to use Golang. Yeah, so coming back to this project, where was I? Yeah, I think I remember last time I wasn't correctly, what do you call, releasing resources, right? So I think we ended up fixing that in the last stream, which actually should be somewhere here. Insert, and I have one for update. Still, for delete feature has to be implemented, which I should have created a ticket in my GitHub probably sometime later. Okay. So basically, what I'd done last time was this differ statement. Yeah. So this garbage collection was not happening. I basically had this function. And there are two places. Oh yeah, okay. I know why. One is for the batch uploading. The second one is stream upload. Yeah. So basically I had it in a function like this. So what was happening is how many of our resources were there. All of that would get garbage collected at the end of finishing this. And if you have like a couple of gigabytes just data, you can already see how the server could really struggle. Oh, right now I just have like around 60 records. Obviously, you're not even gonna see a dent in anything, but yeah. Ooh, I need to even change this. Let me create these tickets. Give me a second. Let me just create them on my GitHub. Oh, the two things want to create lock in a shared source and feature request deleting of documents. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So today the main thing that at least I want to do is probably make this a little more readable. That's improving logs, I think, and try to make it shared. Yeah, I mean, make it distributed. So right now, the way it's designed is, what tool can I use? Actually, I had a pretty decent tool. I've forgotten the name, but um, hmm, rip. I even had some pretty important flowcharts in that website. I can't even seem to find the website itself. It's not Lucid Chart, but it's actually a pretty prominent website. Okay, RIP my diagrams. Yeah. Okay, so the way right now it works is it's just basically reads data off of the oplog. It's basically the change streams that's available on MongoDB. It's the same thing gets streamed over to Elasticsearch. And obviously right now, I don't know why I said obviously, but right now I'm supporting just the cloud version of Elasticsearch. And I also have plans to probably support something like a local deployment. Right? I'm not sure how that works exactly. I don't know if the same APIs is port over or probably not. I think I'm just using the Elasticsearch. What am I using? I think it's their cloud API, maybe. Yeah, Elasticsearch API. I think it should. If, yeah, I'm pretty sure it should. But yeah, we'll check that. Type defining. Okay, let's go. So what are some approaches that I can look into? I did look at a few approaches. These are what I have. So right now, um, I'm just making a assumption. I don't know if this assumption actually has any it'll make an actual difference while implementing, but we're just assuming that the design pattern that's been used for the system design pattern that's been used using CQRS. That's basically you're writing data all to one replica node, which obviously copies over eventual consistency, right? Copies over to the other replica nodes, and you have basically you have a separate read and a write data nodes for them, right? It basically helps in scalability from what I know. But yeah. So, and yeah, this is going to be all eventually consistent. I think it'll be very hard for me to create this such that it's strongly consistent, right? And does strongly consistent even make sense for something like search systems? I mean, okay, I'm just building this. Just an FYI, I'm just building this keeping in mind search. Obviously, Elasticsearch is for search, and you obviously have monitoring and everything. But yeah, I did see that Elasticsearch did integrate some tool similar to this, but from what I know, it's more of a batch upload. Um, I saw that they give you an option from every 1 hour to every 24 hours, probably even longer. Not sure, but yeah, yeah. That I also should check how long they give because I don't know how long does the oplog live or MongoDB. I think it's about a week. I don't know. I might be wrong on that. I think it should be about a week. But yeah. So from the few approaches that I've listed, I need to probably. Okay, the main reason I'm making this distributed is because if you were to deploy this in a Kubernetes setting, right? Um, there, obviously, you have no guarantee that one particular. Obviously, you're given guarantee that the service will be up 100% of the time, given the number of replicas, yada 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 yada, right? Uh, but you have no guarantee that that particular pod will be alive. I think that's left to the Kubernetes engine to probably decide if it wants to keep the pod or not, or if you run into any sort of glitches on that pod. You can even tell it to kill the pod, right? So when it kills the pod, you want to ensure that you have something failing over rather than having to have this come back alive and restart. So, I've seen the pods just take about less than a cup, couple of minutes. It can take up to 5 minutes here. But 5 minutes downtime for a search service, not a big deal. Could be, could not be. I'm not sure, depending on the type of service you're giving. Yeah. Yeah. Some company like Zomato doesn't really care if they can't find searches for 5 minutes. Right. But a bank transaction. But a financial bank transaction will never even happen on a NoSQL engine, NoSQL database. Let's go. So what do we do now? What am I gonna implement first? Should I implement the distributed architecture of this? But then I have to set up etcd for this, or any sort of key value. So actually I have Redis. Should I just use Redis for now? But then I'm to rewrite the code from Redis to etcd is a headache. Actually, do I really need to use etcd? I think they just call it etc. I don't know if they call it etcd. I think all I'm going to be storing is two things. One is the resume token, right? So another service knows when to resume. And one could be the state, basically the lock state, right? Which service is reading and writing. Also one drawback, I mean, it's not a drawback. I don't know if there's a workaround for this. At least I can't think of one right now. But at any given point of time, there's going to be one pod actually doing the operations and other are just sitting there standby, right? Which I think is also, I don't know, is that a common thing in distributed systems? I think, yeah. I mean, databases work the similar way, but you do have read and write replicas. But I think, I don't know, are usually, the primary replica is usually a write replica, right? And you're actually reading off of a secondary replica. Yeah. I know Kafka also does the similar thing where, oh boy, it's been a minute actually working with Kafka. They obviously have a primary replica, and then they have their leader election, after which, what are they called? Log files? Damn, forgotten the terminologies. But yeah. Oh yeah, also in this, I think I'm just moving data from one collection from A to B. We also need to think of a way such that when you deploy this, multiple collections are being watched, right? So for that, let's just say for one setting, if you have about 5 collections being watched, you can't deploy 10 services just to maintain 5 collections, right? Sorry, 10 pods just to maintain 5 collections. Because right now the way it's written down is like each pod is just maintaining one collection. I don't know, can one pod manage more than one collection? Like, would that create bottlenecks? Uh, Probably not. Probably not. I don't know. I'm thinking if Twitter were to use this, right, and there's a match like India Pakistan or something going on, they have like tons of writes that happen, and a lot more reads also along with them, writes, because your recommendation engine is just going berserk at that point. just loading unnecessary amounts of recommendations people won't even read. Hmm. Okay, I just forgot why I was even talking about that, but yes, let's get back. Leader election mechanism. Oh, this is going to be a really long time. I should have actually studied up leader election mechanism algorithm before I got to this. I know there's a round robin one. I think that should be pretty simple to actually implement, right? Um, Shared lock is something more like a mutex, right? I'm just gonna store the lock state in one variable. I'm gonna just keep reading that variable. Oh yeah, wait. Back onto this. Damn. I was talking about. Okay, it'll come back to me. Oh yeah, I was talking about how for each collection you're gonna have multiple. You're gonna have multiple people. Sorry, multiple collections for each pod. Right. Oh, wait. So also I realize another drawback of whatever approach that I would have chosen is if, let's just say, you have, obviously having 5 collections and 10 pods doesn't make sense, assuming that you have one replication factor on each collection, sorry, on each pod, which is a huge waste of resource, right? Like huge waste of resource. So these are pretty light services, right? Actually, they are pretty light. So would it be that big a huge waste of services? Not really. Probably just using one full CPU for something like this. I'm assuming. Yeah, I don't see why you would require more than one CPU for something like this. I don't know, probably I'll have to ask a DevOps engineer about something along those lines, but this is just reading data and just writing to a particular service, which is one of the most basic things that every thing does. So it should not really. I don't know. Can it run up just 1/10 of a CPU? Probably. You remember, you used to run entire features off of just, okay, not entire features, but entire microservices on just 1/10 of CPU. Actually, we would give it 2/10 just in case. But I do remember like a lot of our CPUs were just like, I don't know what the metric is. I forgot. I think it was something MV. No, CU, compute units. Yeah, I think it was compute units. 1,000 compute units account for one CPU. I don't know. I might need to check the uh, metric, but I'm pretty sure it's 1,000 units account, whatever the units were. 1,000 units account for one CPU, one entire CPU, right? Of whatever type you choose on AWS. And we would probably, most of our services took anywhere from, I think we had a lower bound of 80 compute units all the way upper bound of 250. I remember then the then DevOps engineer. Yeah. And yeah, most of the services ran on that except for a few which were pretty bulky and chunky. Man, writing Python for some of these services was actually a pretty big pain in the ass. It's not really such a nice programming language when it comes to doing multiple tasks at once, mostly something like multi-threading, right? There are workarounds. There are workarounds. It's not that there aren't. It's just when you're trying to handle like a lot of requests at once. Uh, yeah, and each request. So the problem that I had, I'm sorry, I might be going off on a bit of a tangent here, but the problem we, at least I had come across in the past, was something like each request that came in took a lot of compute to actually get a result from that request, right? It could take anywhere from just a second all the way up to 4 seconds, right? On an average, this is right on an average around 2 seconds is the ideal time, right? And on an upper limit 4 seconds, which is quite a lot, because if that one particular service is taking about 4 seconds, then if you add in all network latency and all the other delays that run in, you're adding another full second on just that. So just for each request, if it takes you 5 seconds, and that one feature is being used by a lot of people, right? And also this was in okay due to another really really horrible implementation of one of the libraries we were using. We weren't actually able to send asynchronous requests, so they were all synchronous requests. So if 20 people were accessing the same service, you would see I think at one point the response time became so ridiculous it took like 80 seconds just to respond back, makes which I don't know. I was so embarrassed seeing something take 80 seconds to return a response for a particular feature, right? Because there's 20 requests and each request is taking about 4 seconds, right? It's crazy, Obviously, we could scale horizontally at that point, but then you're just increasing, like your computes are just the cost of cloud isn't cheap. Just cloud is just insanely expensive. I was watching Arpit Bhayani's stream, not stream. I don't know. Is it a stream? I was just watching one of his videos where he was interviewing Dukan, and their cloud cost was like 90,000 US dollars. Is that right? Or Indian rupees? It's one of these. Whatever. It doesn't matter if it's US dollars or Indian rupees. Still, 90,000 Indian rupees is still quite a lot for how many ever clients that they have, and I'm sure they're not like that crazy big. I'm assuming they'll have like what, probably 10,000 to 20,000 clients, shops, I think, in there. Getting such a big bill is, I think, 90,000 Indian rupees could be fine, but yeah, it was some absurd number. I don't remember. Which is kind of ridiculous, but yeah, it's just kind of insane. So I did end up finding a very unorthodox solution for that, which I don't want to go off on another tangent. I'm going to sit and talk about that for another 45 minutes because I would say it was a little bit of an unorthodox implementation. By no means was it bad. It worked flawlessly well. I remember, I think after implementing that feature, I think all requests went from 80 seconds to just easily less than 10 seconds, right? At least that particular microservice reduced its response times from these insane numbers to just 80 seconds, 10 seconds, which is good. It's good. Obviously, when you scale it horizontally, that 10 seconds again becomes much, much, much smaller, right? But the entire service should have taken less than half a second, correct? I don't know. 3/10 of a second, I think, is more ideal for any sort of request response. Actually, I don't know what is the ideal time for a request response. Obviously, if the user experience is good enough, we don't really care. But just as an engineering question, no? Okay, let's get back to coding. Enough of ranting. I did go on for a rant. How long was I on a rant for? 20 minutes? Yeah. Okay, so now what am I gonna prioritize building? So I have a few things that I want to build. Yeah, here I basically, what I mean is if I were to deploy, so you have 5 collections that you want to watch for, right? And you deploy 5 of these, and these are very lightweight services, like, right? Uh, they're not, obviously, they're not as lightweight as sidecar ones. I think sidecars just use 10 to 20 compute units. This is somewhere around the 100 compute units, right? I'm guessing. I hope making a good estimation on that. 100 compute units. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Yeah, what max am I doing? I'm just reading and writing data from oplog to another API. Oh, I have to handle failed requests. Oh, I've not handled failed requests. What happens if a request fails? I don't think I'm doing anything. Truncate index. When did I add that feature? Error indexing. That's all I say. This request. This has to be there, bro. This is like a very fundamental thing. Give me a second, guys. With an implementation on this, handling failed request, resume token in a shared key value store. Deleted documents. Delete deleted documents. And last but not least, supporting local deployments of Elasticsearch. Right now I'm only supporting the cloud deployment. We'll also have to support the local deployment of this. So which one am I gonna do now? Handling failed requests in Elasticsearch API. Should be pretty straightforward, right? Like if it fails, just retransmit, but then retransmit how many times? 3 times before you just give up. That means I'll have to go read the docs on what are the reasons it could fail. Proper. If it fails because of network outage. Oh, but the retries have to be, what do you call it? What's the fucking word, bro? Like obviously I try after 1 second, then I try after 3 seconds. My brain. But yeah, you guys get the gist of it. Resume token in a shared key value store. Now in this also, actually I need to compare why. I actually remember reading about this. I actually ended up choosing HCD over Redis. Because I think HCD, you can even store configs. Give me a second. Hmm. Show you what I'm looking at. It's been a while looking at this, but with golang. How convenient. Just gonna have a look at this. No medium. Oh, don't really care. Today we compare Redis and etcd in memory, database cache, and a message broker. It's a message broker as a data structure service, since keys can contain etcd strongly consistent. Oh, wait, this also is strongly consistent. What? It's literally in memory, and you can just read and write to just once you hash something, you just basically overwriting it. And I know Redis is also single threaded, which good job. Yeah. In fact, huge part of the world is single threaded. Node. So strongly consistent distributed key value, so that provides a reliable way to store data that needs to be accessed by a distributed system. Yes. Or a cluster of machines. Yes, yes. etcd gracefully handles master election during network partitions and will tolerate machine failure, including the master. I think etcd was a result of Google's BigQuery, or what is it? Bigtable, not BigQuery. Bigtable. No, it was like one of the modules that was present in Bigtable, and they just open source this, right? Because of Redis performance, okay, in memory, it doesn't really matter. Advanced key value cache, open source, simplicity of using, service discovery. What does this mean? Huh? Isn't something like this handled by reverse proxy? Or am I just completely wrong? Fault tolerant key value stuff. Yeah, I feel like so many of these can just be in Redis. That's also fault tolerant, right? Like, what fault are you gonna run into in Redis? Bundled with Oreos. What the hell are these, man? Core OS, container Linux is discontinued open source lightweight operating system. Open source privilege access management. Ooh, I think this, does that mean when they say privilege access management, do they mean like need to have certain credentials to actually access a particular resource on etcd? Because I know Redis, actually giving that a good thought, no, Redis does have tables, right? Or what are they called? They have 0, 1, 2. I don't remember, but I've forgotten like what the exact implementation is. Okay. Open source privilege access management secure. Redis has excellent documentation for quiet Redis use cases. Cache, yep. Chat, messaging, and queues. Use it for chat. I don't know who uses it for chat. What part of chat would you use Redis for? I mean, you already have a socket connection, but then I know that running sockets on Kubernetes is a bit of a challenge. It can be done, but you're having to do a little bit of tweaking here and there. Messaging and queues. I need to see why they would use for messaging and queues. Session store, okay, that's fine. Media streaming, okay. Geospatial, okay. Machine learning, just because it's on in memory. A lot of organizations are ready to implement production systems, all Kubernetes systems. Okay. Open table, internal service discovery, and cluster configuration. Hey, cluster configuration, yes, that's something that even I want to use it for, right? Courses.com provides architecture and engineering for computing systems, radius intelligence, multiple internal tools, bootstrapable. But if I go with HCD right now, there's going to be a huge problem of getting actually HCD set up and actually working. I'll have to spend like another hour. I can't do this on this stream, and I don't want to stream for more than a couple of hours because it's already, as you can see, it's all, I don't know if you can see, but it's already like 11:15 in the night. Tencent Games, wait, aren't Tencent Games the guys who made PUBG? Metadata and configuration, data for service discovery, Kubernetes, yes, Yandex, Zinc Cloud. What is this App Center? I don't think I understand the full meaning of service discovery, even though grab system configuration for services, service discovery. A lot of these guys use for service discovery. Oh wait, when you say service discovery, does it mean like which service is doing what operation? But then aren't those just you just grab the endpoints? Locking, yes, this is what even I want to use it for. Oh my god. It's a good thing that these guys have written down code for this also makes my work a lot easier. Creating a context client, okay. It's giving it the context input. I think it's a write operation here. So get operation here, key and value. Okay. I think we can implement this now, but testing it is gonna be probably in the next stream, which I really want to keep streaming in a more consistent fashion. But I want to do a lot of things, man. It's difficult to do them. It's difficult to do them on time. I mean, I'll eventually get through all of this, but you know. CTX context read write get put and get you have and print. What's this other function up here? New CD client. Here it's getting the client. The endpoints. This should actually be pretty simple and straightforward, but the problem with implementing something like this is now every time I have to test, I have to have like a Etsy client running on my Etsy server running on my machine. And shake resume token in a key value. Okay, deleted documents. This actually should be pretty straightforward to implement this. Support local deployments of Elasticsearch. So the thing about supporting local deployments of Elasticsearch, you're not gonna have a cloud ID here. Instead of a cloud ID, it's gonna be, what all am I passing here? Index name, that doesn't matter. MongoDB URI, okay. I don't know if I should break this into server and user and password. Yes, cloud ID, 6 API. Ooh. Give me a second. I need to just pause my notifications. Do not disturb for 4 hours. Thank you. Hmm. Give me a second. Let me just think on what to implement. I think let's just implement the delete documents. But the deleted documents are again. Actually, that's pretty straightforward. Should be straightforward. I just need to read the documentation for how to delete a document. Let's just implement it. Let me share the correct screen. Yeah, I'm sorry for this lower section though. You get to see two freaking mouses. But yeah, currently I'm just using what is it, window capture? Yeah, so it's just, I don't know, it's being weird. But I'm also on a Linux machine, so it's probably doubly weird a bit. Actually, let me just stop sharing that so it doesn't distract you guys. Insert index, update index, func, delete. It's not delete index, it's delete in index. Yeah, but in delete in index, what all am I taking parameters? I think I was taking. Ooh, it's not update request, it's. Hmm. Oh, depending on the type of operation. Why am I creating this lock? I forgotten. Oh yeah, this lock is for never mind. It's for running the batch process. Upload to Elastic. This is a stream. This is the function that streams it, but there's another batch one that locks and unlocks. So because this cannot run unless the batch update is done. If if. This should be else if, right? Because if it's if, oh, what's the error, bro? Syntax error, unexpected. Is it elif in else if golang? What? Is there something I'm doing wrong? Fuck. Gotta put it here only. Else if update. Or is that my linter actually fucking with me? Expected statement found else. You can't have an operation type of this else log dot. Maybe a warning, nah? It's not fatal. What all options do I have? Damn, I'm using fucking Vim key bindings to search. Don't wanna panic here. Print set writer default. Oh yeah, how do I not have a horn on this? What am I using? Glog? I remember choosing glog as my. Oh yeah, this. Actually, I want to profile. I want to like profile this code. I had a few documentations around how to profile Golang code. Actually, I even looked at a little bit of options around it. But yeah, now I'm just using something called log. It's all good. Even unsupported operation type. No other option. Let's comment that freaking line. Look, I think I already have a context. No, I don't need it here. I need it there. Ooh, I think this is actually better, not implement this, right? So then the chain stream doesn't pick up what's happening. It's gonna be pretty much the same thing, same code here also, but I'll have to tweak a few things. Delete in index, you're gonna have a request and Elasticsearch connection information, which is fine, and a string of document ID. It's ES API update request. Time to look at the official documentation. ES API, ES API. Index request, yep. They have a few things that they do. $44, my god. Freaking this is 89 delete requests. God fucking damn it, bro. Index, document type, document ID. Okay. Delete request, you have index, that's right, document ID. Is anything else required? So you don't require the body. Refresh, yes, I want to flush that index. Refresh is true. It only makes sense for me to like change the refresh value if I'm running high throughput data, right? Like that time you can like write say about like 20 different documents and then refresh. Whereas now I'm just getting a request like once every 2 seconds. It only makes sense when I'm getting traffic. That's and majority of these are gonna be like update requests. They aren't even gonna be insert or delete. Delete is probably gonna be the least. Less than I don't know, less than 5% of people delete their accounts, I think. Delete index should be yes API dot delete request. What am I using? Conf? No, it's Elasticsearch. It's an address to the pointer Elasticsearch client. So client and obviously a string idea. Oh, I'm passing the string to print out if I fucking run into an error. Okay, doc ID. I thought I copied the code for this, didn't I? It's gonna return a boolean. Okay. Is this line exactly the same? Like, I don't think much of the code changes, right? Oh, the linter is fine, finished. The value of res is never used. Where is it never used, bro? 430. What line is this? 215. You are right. The value of res is never used. How smart. And static type checkers are sometimes they really make things like 100 times better by just having this. So I don't have to rewrite all this BS. You have a delete request, you're sending it over. So delete an index. Oh wait, am I not share? Oh fuck, I feel so dumb. Thought I'm sharing my screen, bro. Kill myself. It's whatever. I just basically ended up writing this function. Yeah. Basically have a request, the request. This should delete the document. But here right now, my other piece of code, which I'm actually using to test this, simulate user profile. Here you can see I put delete as just 1/10 of a chance to actually occur. Right, this is basic. Okay, so a bit of context about this code. This code just basically just simulates what a user does, right? And I've just taken a use case of a user either creating his profile, updating his profile, or deleting his profile. Delete user data. I think it's a fucking class. Yes, I ended up writing a class for this. It's probably one of the most neater classes I've written. It just looks neat, you know. Delete user self dot collection dot aggregate. Set up a max time also for this. Right. Deleting user data with underscore ID. Oh, I'm using the dollar sample. Even all these. I remember writing it, but I only remember writing it when I look at it. I'm like, oh damn, yeah, I remember reading this on the official documentation. It's kind of nice that they have these probability functions. I don't know, statistical functions. I know them probability, but statistical functions where you can just sample data out of how many other. I don't know how they do it. Like, obviously, it has to be. Does it have to be? No, it doesn't have to be. I don't know. What type of distribution would you use to sample such a data? If you use something like a normal distribution, I feel like that's as good as. I don't know. It's not really as good as, but it's like using a unique function, right? Because each one of them have an equal probability of showing. Deleting user with data. Okay, let's test this. I have built it. Time to view. Fuck. I might need to cut that part of fucking video out. What timestamp is this? Somewhere around an hour and 10 minutes. Okay, got it. Okay, not handling delete events yet. Oh damn, wait. I don't need to handle delete events in. Hold the frick up. I don't need to handle delete events in initial load data, right? Actually, I don't even have to do any sort of update. It's just an insert. Update and index should only be in two places. Yeah. Oh, it can obviously get deleted right after during insert. I'm not gonna bother. A string operation, document ID, hex. Quest. Yeah, this should work. What's the best way? Again, I'm on the wrong screen. And I don't know why, after I explain the entire thing to you guys, I just remember, oh, I'm on the wrong screen. It's just stupid. So this function just basically takes in a number. The number is how long before the next request is actually sent out. So this is just basically sending out a request every 2 seconds. Insert, insert, update, update, insert, got user data, delete. Yes, we performed a delete here. Which means we perform two inserts. Insert here. Not handling delete events yet. See, do I have section of the code that I'm actually breaking that code here. Wait, hold on. What even comes? Primitive m, primitive m. Fuck, is this guy sleeping? Help me write this piece of code, bro. So I don't have to look at the docs. I'll do something like this. Nope. This is not Python, bro. Convert primitive m. Isn't event also technically just piece on? Wait, I just saw that. What am I saying? So piece on m. Piece on m to string. Golang. Again, unmarshal this. Wait, there should be unmarshaled data. It's the case. Hmm? So full document is going to be empty in the case of delete. So I can't use full document. I need to, this is my resume token, which I need to update, which I am updating, I feel. But I'm updating it in the queue, which is the right place to update. Right? Is it? No, not even in the queue, but should be after the request processes, right? Let me check where I'm updating in a second. This is the event ID. This is the collection and database. Okay, so the full document I do underscore ID dot x. Give me a second, guys. I'll just share my VS Code. There we go. Sad. Right. So in all the other cases, we obviously have, don't need this. Each request dot full document. No, don't need a full document. Each request dot doc ID. Right? Should be doc ID. Now each request has, I think, I'm pretty sure it has to be a, here is the document ID. What was I gonna say? Yeah, it has to be a structure. Fuck. There we go. Document ID. Wait, it's not event dot underscore ID, it's document key. It's document key, and then out of which is underscore ID. What type mismatch is this? Invalid operation cannot index event dot document key map of type interface. Copilot, explain. Copilot, alive, would the guy die? Where is chatting? Damn, I'm blind as fish. Chatting is. Damn. Is this the right piece of code? No, it's not. Wait, it is the right piece of code. Correct. Okay. Yeah, I thought I could. I thought I can just write this entire thing in one line. Not sure if I can. Let's try, obviously. It's gonna be a map of strings, right? But can't do a dot here. Expected selector or type assertion. Fine. Oh, wait. Yeah. Right. I don't know why I'm using a dot there. Now here it should be primitive object ID. Yes, sir, you're right. Hey, I can do this. It's good. Each request dot document ID. And then I enqueue this. The queue. Now I have some other separate function watching the queue. This is watching the changes. Now watching the queue here. For is locked. And this is a coroutine. This is a routine that will never die. Right? So that's why you don't see any differs in this, because it doesn't make a difference to write a differ or not in this. Insert, but now comes delete, else if delete, println updating, not updating, deleting, deleting data in Elasticsearch. Okay, I'm printing the document here again. Document name, document ID in this case. Now I have ID here. For a delete operation, the following in return. Underscore ID operation type cluster time ns document. Acha, from this you're seeing from the MongoDB oplog. You remove that, you create a delete request, error trace. I've forgotten what exactly this does. Delete index, and then you're updating the resume token. Right, and obviously this is sequential. I always think about this one weird freaking execution edge case, right? So obviously when you do delete index, obviously you have the stack trace and you're kind of jumping, whatever, you're popping the stack basically, right? And you're going back to the previous function call. So when you go to the previous function call, what if for some wild reason, not even just wild reason, what if I just shut off the computer and it just happens so that is the operation that it cuts off at when it's just jumping, or not just jumping, at any point from the time of doing that operation on Elasticsearch till the time I update the resume token, if something happens just between this, I know it's like literally nanoseconds, but that's the level I think about sometimes. And I know it doesn't make sense for like 99.99% of cases. Because again, re-deleting this is not a problem, but re-inserting it is a problem. And I know if I try to insert duplicates, it's gonna give me an error because I have document ID. Right, so that's also not an issue, but I think I'm pretty sure I've handled that edge case of inserting data multiple times. I've forgotten what actually happens, but yeah. Okay, time to shift the screen. Let's go. Insert, delete. Okay, that's great. Oh, we have a seg fault. Interface conversion. Interface is primitive. I'm not of type. I think it's of string. I was kind of. Oh, fuck, it's not even happening here. It's here. Map.string doc. No, wait, it's right. It's a document key. Let me show you what it's a document key, an interface. And the segfault that I just got is telling me otherwise. Boy, it's 12 o'clock. I need to go to bed because I need to wake up early. I have a lot of work tomorrow to do. It's a Sunday, but work in the Sunday. Oh, watch changes. That's right. Panic interface conversion interface is primitive. I'm not. Oh, it's the exact line. I mean, 515 is the line of code which does check it. Even dot document. Oh, document key is primitive M. All right. Wait, hold on. I just realized something. I don't need to do this because I'm also doing a continue here, which is wrong. So the operation won't run. I'm doing this, right? I don't even need to do this because this is already happening. Each request of document ID. Also, I'm also handling error there. Error when type asserting the document ID. I was going to be yelling there's no code in this. Bro, it's such a... What's a NOP operation that I can write? Pass? No. Yo, why does this use freaking tabs to format? No, man. Indent using spaces, bro. Indent using spaces. Any second now. Okay. How are so many documents inserting? It's crazy how long it took to actually delete a document. Okay, it says 200 deleted version 2. Oh, I just realized something. I need to stash these changes. Can't. Oh, I just realized something even more. This is actually built on top of a different branch. So I built this on top of the main branch. So I couldn't have built it on top of the main branch because this branch had to get committed before. I have some GitHub refactoring to do. But yes, created version. That's good. Deleting a document. This document. Object ID 64. Deleted it here. Looks like it's even deleted in Elasticsearch. Its version number was 2. So basically whatever operations it was doing. Oh, I have printf. Fuck. Do res.status. Status code. That's 200. r.result, which is result apparently. Result tells what type of operation it is. Okay. And I have a float 64. What have a float 60? I have a float 67. Probably run into that many versions. But yeah, this is good. Straightforward feature implementation of this. Actually, we didn't do much today. I think I went on a rant for too long a time. I think I'll plan like a stream probably next weekend. I don't know, this week. I don't know, man. In general, it's just been super busy at work and doing everything by yourself at home, and managing work and home and streaming and studying. I think, these streams, they require me to do a little bit of studying before I get on. Unless I do a little bit of a YOLO stream like today where I didn't study much. But yeah, just implemented the delete feature. At least that's one ticket down. Slowly. Actually, I think I have another 20 minutes. I think I'll just stream for another 20 minutes in that. Let's just look at JVector. Just found this repository like a couple of weeks ago and I've been following it. Not too closely, but just following it enough to the point where I'm just learning databases, right? But this is a vector database. Give me a second. Let me just share my. Let me just actually commit all these changes and then I can share my. Okay, we have this on the remote machine. I think I should add my GitHub repository in the YouTube description, right? People can find what the frick I'm actually working on. Let me add that right now. Damn, I can't add links in descriptions because I'm not a verified YouTube streamer. Sorry, YouTube. Anyway, it's actually on my screen, right? Like, found 4 vulnerabilities. I'll look at these later. I just need to update these packages. Anyway, this is basically the repository, right? Let's find this for now. It's better off if I have it in my description, but unfortunate, can't really add links. Actually, you know what? Let me do something a little bit more clever. I'm not gonna add links. I'm just gonna remove the HTTP in this tab. But man, this is a trending repository. I didn't want this to be a trending repository. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, it's not like that. I just there we go. I've added links to the GitHub in a different way. But yeah. Oh wait, you guys are still looking at my terminal. Just give me a second. Yeah, here we go. This is basically the JVector repository. I was actually looking into this during a bit of my free time. It's actually a pretty interesting repository. It's in Java though. I know how to write Java, but I don't really know how to use Maven, right? Which has been a bit of a struggle to just get this fucking running, which I did eventually, but it like took me forever just understanding how to use Maven. It's kind of annoying when studying tools is always like the biggest thing as being a software engineer, man. It takes up so much of your time, specifically when you don't have somebody to just teach you the tool. Yeah, work with Java projects, but like never with such big ones with like all these insane dependencies. Which is why they use Maven wrap. Add a Maven wrapper. I don't know why they have this binary. Pretty sure it's a. Oh, it's not a binary. Oh, it's a shell script. Oh, I thought this was a binary. Anyway, JVector is pure Java, zero dependency embedded vector search engine. And I did look. So I have a little bit of experience actually working with Lucene. Like not really in production though. Like I studied a lot of Lucene though, but I haven't deployed anything. In fact, even work with a little bit of bindings. A bit of bindings, what do you call Java and Python bindings? Actually, somebody built a it's like somebody built a Java virtual machine in the Python interpreter, right? Because I didn't want to write Java to write Lucene, right? Because Lucene is basically a Java API, like all the code is in Java. So you want to write anything for Lucene, you basically have to write everything in Java, or you had to write. I forget the name of the repository. I think it's PyLucene, right? Yeah, it's actually decent, but it's a lot. Like it took me a week to get this set up. Not a week, like it took me like 4 days, but like it took me like forever to study this, set this up. Uh, JCC, I think that's the one. Is that the one? Right, and it has like all these insane operations, like can manage what time you flush your indexes, like all these very low level operations. It's good. I actually learned a lot about not a lot, but actually had a good experience understanding distributed systems with just Lucene and just software engineering in general, more on the programming side, like systems side. So yeah. Give me a second. Hmm. Yeah, so like I was saying, thing gives you like insane APIs. Doesn't have you don't have to sit and write a lot of Java, and also I was actually the only guy working on this, right? something to do with search systems. And yeah, this is gonna be a Herculean task. And just actually, I also looked at Apache Solar, which is like an excellent tool. Solar is like insane. Like, if somebody wants to build a brand new search system, which I don't think we require, just because uh, we've just excelled with search systems so far that everything is almost in real time, right? Like from the time of indexing to the time of searching, it's near real time, right? Um, so if you want to create like your account, or whatever operation, you just index it and it's readily available. Um, I also learned how retrieval works, information retrieval, which helped me which helped me actually understand even databases quite a lot, just from this one project, right? Like how do you um, ensure like you're not doing a lot of garbage collection during, so when you do a delete operation, you're basically, all these are stored on disk, right? Eventually, like everything goes onto memory. When I say memory, I mean RAM, right? And once it's in RAM, you're doing all your operations and you flush it to disk, right, for long-term storage. And now if you are to delete something, it actually doesn't get deleted off the disk immediately, right? That because that requires a lot of reorganization of all memory. Um, it's basically just costly operation, uh, which they don't want to do. So what they do is just basically retrieve that piece of data, and once you retrieve that piece of data, and they and usually I know wait, I don't know if it was Solar or Elasticsearch. I think both of them take a similar approach, but they basically have what do you call them? They're not just one index. They have like millions, not millions. Yeah, you could think of millions depending on the size of your data, right? They actually have a lot more smaller indexes. So each index, you create an index, they're actually broken down into smaller chunks. So I don't know how big the chunk is, but let's just say for an example, like each chunk contains about 10,000 documents, right? So each of these 10,000 documents, you send in a request and it'll search that particular, whatever your search parameter is, on those particular sub indexes, and they're retrieved. And once they're retrieved, even the deleted documents for up to a certain period of time, right? That's all configurable, but they're all, you get that piece of data and then you actually filter it in that step. Like the deleted document, it's actually flagged, right? They have a small flag that says, oh, hey, look, this document is actually deleted, right? So that piece of or that document is just removed once it's retrieved and then it's returned back, right? And obviously all your complicated search systems, like all search systems that have any sort of machine learning in them, still use uh, text-based search, from what I know, right? Like the very first thing that happens is a text-based search, after which they are like re-ranked and reorganized, right? You have what was the right term? Ranking and Elasticsearch. Where is I remember watching. Yeah, this is the talk. I watched this entire talk. Actually, quite a few talks with them. Is it this one? Actually, not this one. Oh yeah, it is this one. It is this one. Yeah, I remember this game. Oh, it's a beautiful talk. Um, Actually, they go in depth of even what type of machine learning techniques they use to actually return, like DB scan and a few more. Now, can I find the DCGS? This is all metrics that they're looking at. Yeah, I wasn't as much interested in the machine learning, like the theory of the machine learning. It's good to know. Like I have a rough idea of what happens, but just the engineering of this is just it's so well. It's nice to understand it, right? Obviously, even recommendation systems are also built on like it can be built. No, it's not built. It can be built on a similar architecture where you ingest data into something like Elasticsearch, and if somebody is interested in data science, and you can just say, hey, look, data science also maps to machine learning. Like it's similar to machine learning. I know on Elasticsearch you can say similarity terms and stuff like that, right? So you can just give it that. But this is a very naive approach. Like it's probably a good solution when you don't have that much data to really work with. Obviously, when you get a little bigger, it becomes a lot more challenging. One, two, I read a bit of a statistic. So in your Google search results, 80% of the traffic is controlled. I think more than 80. I think 90% of the traffic is controlled by the first four search results, which is which does make sense. Which is insane. I think the very first one has an insane like 60% traffic or something, like a really high number, right? So and your click-through rates need to be so a good determination of whether you're using the right machine learning technique or whatever retrieval process you're using. Is it the right way? Is it the right one? Is to basically check if you have the result appearing in the first four search results, or not even, you could say first four, but obviously, depending on the type of app you're building or whatever use case you're building it for, it has to be in the first, whatever scrollable result type you get, it has to be in that first page, right? And I think going to the second page of Google is less than 0.01%. Like it's a very, very small percentage of people who actually even flip over to the next page, which is right. Like 99.9% of the time, I barely even go to the second page. Like my results are like in the top four, like as mentioned by that statistic, which shows you like how accurate like we've gotten these systems to, right? With the help of machine learning. Yeah. Okay. Getting back to this, yeah. So I think one thing I really found interesting in this is actually a case study. Not this. It's a brand new pull request. You might think PQ is priority queue, but it's actually a different proximity PQ. PQN. Tell me the full form of product quantization. There we go. Okay. I didn't even think to just Google vector databases, but this is actually good. I might read this. So these guys were running into, I think, garbage collection problems, right? For a small data set. It's actually on their website. I don't know if they got it resolved, but I don't see the pull request here. SIMD. I've actually used SIMD operations. Oh, most of the vectorized code is using from our API. The JDK vector API added support for loading and storing vectors from memory segments. Who's this guy? This guy works at Intel. Okay. Oh, he's probably a core developer in Java. God damn. So the vectorized code in SIMD Java is used from Array API to load the contents into vector with JDK plus, JDK 20 plus. I think these guys are supporting JDK 20. I think they just started supporting it like a couple of weeks ago. I did support for loading and storing vectors from memory segments using from/into memory segments API. One can ensure aligned vector load and store given that most of the code is using species preferred, which means what? Oh, aligned. Okay, I've realized that alignment, like memory alignment in low-level systems, like sorry, low-level operations, is a huge thing. Like it boosts performance of machines like crazy because you don't have to read a piece of memory to tell you how much to jump. Right? I think that's the right explanation. Like, you know, if you're having like, okay, if this is like 32 bytes and the next one is like just storing about 20 bytes, you're not having to read every time, like, okay, I need to skip 32, 20. Like, even though it's actually just 20 bytes, just if you align them to just 32, you know, just having skipping, you're just saying, hey, look, just go to the fourth word, right? Or double word or whatever, like, depending on whatever data type you're accessing. Thus, if the first vector load in the vector loop happens from an address which is not on a multiple of cache line, this is basically optimizing cache misses. Slash vector size, and each successive vector load will span across the cache line. Oh wait, I think I know what he's saying here. Because cache lines are I think even cache lines, accessing cache lines, there's like an optimal way of even accessing cache lines. I think it's column based. Yeah. So I read about this in Gem, like with the implementation of Gem. Even there, once we read data, we try to make sure that one cache line fits in the entire data set. Like if you were to break the data into just, let's just say 8 by 2 or 8 by 4 or whatever, depending on the type of system you have, like obviously you need to have slightly different, it's kind of dependent on the architecture your CPU has, right? But you just want to fit that entire data segment onto just that one cache line, so you're not jumping around too much in your L1 cache, right? Even though L1 cache I think is 32 MB. How big is L1 cache? 64 KB. Okay, I'm saying MB. Oh my god, did I say MB? Yeah, it's an MB. Kilobytes. Yes. 32 MB is L3 cache, I'm pretty sure. Obviously that slightly differs on each. Yeah, kind of depends on each, but Kind of nice reading. Messages like this doesn't make me feel a lot dumb, you know. Shows you like a lot of people who have like insane knowledge on certain stuff, which is kind of hard for everybody to know. I did look into it. You can run the JMH yourself. What is JMH? Java micro benchmark harness. This is Java harness for building, running, and analyzing nano, micro, milli, macro benchmarks written in Java. God damn. Oh, I was about to profile my Go code. Yeah, we'll do that next stream. But I want to profile my Go code just to understand what the if is happening. $63 files changed. Okay, it's just like a pretty big. There's no way that I'm gonna be reading this entire thing. These guys are developing this pretty rapidly. Add native POC. Oh, I thought only I wrote commits like this. Actually, this guy got the entire thing done in 2 days. I'm not surprised that he's changed 63 files, but I'm just surprised he got it working in 2 days. What a giga chad, huh? Sadly, this. Oh, okay, so you close this. Okay, I don't know how to read this, but. Oh, okay. Wait, I think he has 3 different functions which he's benchmarking. Right, this is the highest one, dot product array. You probably need to read into like that function itself, but doing a lot of PSC on this. Use memory segment API for aligned vector loads. Damn. I said I'm gonna stream for 2 hours. It's gonna be bed like 40 minutes ago. I'm still here. Not good, not good. These are some Serious people things. I'll take a look and get back. Let's see, I want to follow this. Can I follow this particular issue? Actually, you know what? I should even look at like what he's done here. Oh, okay. Let's just tag this in. How can I follow this issue? I want to read that piece of code. So the only reason I'm following this is because it's a brand new project. I think it's been 6 months since I've been working on building this. 300 commits. I don't know. I don't think I can look at how old it is, but I think I did look at it. I think it's around February or something they started work on this. Or am I just hallucinating? September 21, September 19. Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna reach how far that goes, but yeah, I actually want to contribute something to this, but I'll be honest, I don't really have the expertise. Nothing even close. But hey, I think that's the challenge every engineer picks up. Right. But yeah, there was actually a couple of issues. Generate documentation API. Yeah, I think I could do something like this here. Start off with like documenting this, and maybe want to like actually help them maintain this. That'll be an honor. Like, I think I know what this he's referring to, but I see a lot of there was actually a lot of stale code. I think they moved away from using a certain implementation. There was a lot of stale code. Clean up index builder API. Am I gonna leak something here? Scared of leaking something. Hold on. It's not capturing this screen. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. Yes, I know, bro. But take a wild guess what it could be, you know? What are the numbers in the output? Recall. And I assume the 16 and the command line is an. I think this is the data set that they have. SIFT 128. Recall and need to see the query vectors are searched 10 times in benchmark. Yes, this I really wanted to pick this up, but I don't really have the time to do this. Actually, you know what? I'll actually pick this up probably next week. I'll like dedicate an hour every day. An hour every day is actually a huge commitment. How about this? 3 hours a week. It's quite less, but I think I'll be able to do it over the week, like on a Saturday, Sunday, and stuff. Add more hours. At this point, Professor PQ though. But yeah, like I was just sitting and trying to understand these and how they've implemented all of this. It's kind of nice. Like, is Pinecone also open source? I don't think I remember. So I worked with, not exactly directly with, actually, you know, I worked on the Pinecone, but we never ended up going with their solution for their databases. Careers, I don't think they're going to be hiring anyone. Actually, I'd like to get hired at Pinecone. Just, they're pretty big. They are pretty big. See. Bookkeeper. What the hell is that? Director of Security Engineering. God damn, bro. Data engineer expected. Director of Database Engineering. Okay. What is Teleweave? What? Engineer data platform. Yeah, there's no way I'm getting in through these. Like, at least they're gonna be asking senior software engineer, infrastructure and tools. There's a lot of softwares used. Like, yeah. Oh, this I don't have. Like, I know what ETL and ELT is. Extract, transform, load, and obviously extract, load, transform. I work with Kafka. Actually, I would say I know Kafka to a mediocre level. But you know, if anything were to break on Kafka as an infrastructure, I'm pretty sure I would be able to fix it because I've set up Kafka. Yeah. Actually, people who are watching this probably think I'm like retarded. Just talking to myself because nobody's watching the stream. Uh, but yeah, just to make it. Going back to this, and I've also integrated with Kafka. Actually, I've even done Libadi Kafka, a little bit of what do you call um, programming in C++ with Libadi Kafka. Actually, with PyBind 11, I remember I used PyBind 11. Actually, it was a pain in the ass. I should have never done that. Like, it made the work a lot easier. Plus, PyBind, but the thing with that is I ended up also looking at all supporting C++ libraries, which is just a real pain of like finding a reliable. Actually, that's not true. You can actually find reliable ones like Boost, but using something like Boost for uh, a very small use case, right? Is doesn't make sense. Like it's such a big library, and you're just, especially when you're building microservices, you don't want to build them like chunky 1 GB, 2 GB. Um, Actually, some of our data science models were 1 GB. I don't know if is that common to actually have data science models with 1 full gigabyte. I think yeah, I think it's fine to have um, such deployments that have like 1 full gigabyte. What else can you do? Like I think half of it is just weights. Um, yeah, for JavaScript you have like Webpack and everything to actually really cut down on the size of all your microservices. And I'm pretty sure like there has to be something for Java also. Actually, Java is like bytecode compiled, so pretty sure they just dump the bytecode. Can you just do that? Just dump the bytecode in. Actually, you should be. I don't know. I've never actually packaged Java into like a Docker, a container, not a Docker, a container. That'll be interesting though. Experience with data governance, infrastructure. Nope, none of these, bro. None of these. I'm just getting rejected just based off senior software engineer, open source software development kit. So how do you, in 4 years, how are you gonna implement both user facing and infrastructure components? A lot of these guys ask a lot of infrastructure stuff, which I don't mind, but not a lot of places that at least from the place that I'm from, there aren't a lot of companies that they say this, but they never contact you, man. It's a scam. It's a scam. Anyway, came here for a different reason, and I'm Accenture. Is Accenture that big that these guys are mentioning them here? They are pretty big, but, click up, HubSpot. Yes, I know. What are all these guys using vector databases for? CSV Health, yeah, I know. Midjourney. Hey, what is Midjourney? I don't even know. Oh, this is a place, Tel Aviv. I don't know what that is. Israel. Ah, this guy's hiring there. Damn. Kind of sad that they're hiring in Israel than in India. I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to find. It's not that we lack talent. It's just that all the good talent moves out of India because for obvious reasons, right? Actually, how late they've been staying back. I see a lot of big companies paying pretty well here. I wish they paid more though. At least on par with what international. standards get paid just because. Yeah, it's good life to live in India, but once you want to travel, it doesn't make like just the conversion rates just don't work out for us. Pinecone is now HIPAA compliant. Oh, it's a big thing. No wonder they have CSV health under them. HIPAA compliance is a big thing in the US and Canada. God damn, you guys. You have like actually really, really good rules, but like this is such a pain in the ass. Not that much, but sometimes, yeah. Anyways, guys, it's already 1 in the morning for me. Should have been in bed like an hour or two ago. In fact, I was actually planning to go to sleep when I started streaming. But I just said, fuck it. Like, if I don't do it today, I knew I was not going to stream for another 1 more week. Which is kind of making me sad that I'm not able to stream on a daily basis. But is this life? That's life. Anyway, guys, I am out. Over and out. I know we didn't really explore this much, probably another time, but I've actually learned what's actually happening from end to end. All right. Yeah. See you guys. Probably be streaming next week. And I might implement a few features throughout the week for the Mongo connector. But yeah, I think I'd update you next week. Yeah. See you.